Another one of those annual outdoor videos, if you could really call these videos annual. I just do these whenever the fuck. And also, oh, holy shit, 2 new videos, 2 days in a row. What is this? Well, yesterday's Nintendo E3 Direct really got me thinking about something. The 3DS is fucking dead. And to those of you, this is really common knowledge, and this has been something that's been floating around in my head for a while. Hell, I even made a video discussing the new 2DS last year, and saying how I think it's kind of pointless, and how I think the 3DS brand has run its course, and how I think Nintendo should just finally just let go of the 3DS brand. But, you know, of course, that video was swarmed by a fuck ton of Nintendo's, fuck ton of 3DS fanboys, and people were calling me an idiot, saying how stupid I am, and how the 3DS is this awesome system. It's a great system if you don't want the Switch. But my opinion still stands. I still think the 3DS needs to be fucking let go. The 3DS needs to be killed off finally. And can it really be more evident now that Nintendo just wants to phase the thing out? There's really nothing substantial coming out for it anymore. No huge titles or anything are coming out for the 3DS anymore. Hell, in yesterday's E3 Direct, Nintendo made zero mention of the 3DS at all. There were no games announced for the 3DS, none of that shit. I mean, it's so obvious Nintendo just wants this thing to just die out now, and Nintendo just wants to solely focus on the Switch now. The Switch is the 3DS and the Wii U successor. Can you just fucking face it? It's a fucking hybrid system too. It can be a handheld and a home console at the same fucking time. Just just put it in the dock. It's a home console. Take it out the dock. It's a handheld. It's that fucking simple. And Nintendo obviously just wants to have it all in one. They want to replace both their previous home console and their previous handheld. And plus, the 3DS brand is just so fucking old at this point. The 3DS came out in 2011. I know the new 3DS came out in between that, and you know it's a nice little upgrade. But really, it's so obvious Nintendo wants to just completely focus on the Switch now, and obviously the new 3DS doesn't really mean much to Nintendo now, since you know they didn't say anything related to the 3DS at all during E3. So really, call me stupid all you want, call me retarded all you want, but my opinion still stands, and it's backed up by the fact Nintendo really doesn't care about the 3DS anymore. It's backed up that, you know, Nintendo doesn't really mention anything about the 3DS anymore. You know, my opinion still stands. I think the 3DS needs to finally just die. I think the 3DS brand is just fucking dead at this point, and it's all but discontinued now. I mean, sure, maybe some indie games are coming out for it, and you know, these little games that no one gives a fuck about are coming for the 3DS, but nothing huge, nothing. And Nintendo has really no plans to make new games for the 3DS. And hell, Nintendo's starting to sell dockless Switches in Japan now. You know, obviously they're trying to find ways to phase out the 3DS, ways to replace the 3DS with the Switch, because Nintendo wants people to buy the Switch. Nintendo wants people to see the Switch as their new handheld, because Nintendo sees the Switch as their future, not the 3DS. I know Nintendo's made up bullshit where they say, oh, the 3DS will coexist with the Switch. Yeah, you know, we'll continue supporting the 3DS long into the Switch's lifespan. Remember when they fucking said that with the Wii U? Yeah, look at how much they kept to their word there. Obviously, they killed off the Wii U almost instantly after the Switch came out, because obviously Nintendo saw the Switch as the future of their home console lineup, and Nintendo obviously just wanted to phase out the Wii U. I mean, like the Wii U all you want, I think the Wii U was a good fucking console, of course. I've defended the Wii U so many times, and I've said on many occasions that I think that the Wii U was a solid console, but the Wii U was a flop. Nintendo wanted to phase out the Wii U, and they replaced it with the Switch, and they're going to do that eventually with the 3DS. It's just that the 3DS was a much bigger success than the Wii U, so obviously it's taking them longer to phase out than they did with the Wii U, because obviously with the Wii U, not many people really gave a fuck that the Wii U was killed off so quickly after the Switch's release. But the 3DS, obviously there will be some people upset, because some people are like, how could you kill off the 3DS, you know, even though, you know, the Switch is so obviously the 3DS's successor. But watch, probably within a year from now, Nintendo's going to probably, I don't know if they'll stop selling it altogether, but, you know, Nintendo will try to find ways to just get rid of the 3DS, find ways to just kill off the 3DS, and really the DS brand in general is just an old fucking brand at this point. I mean, oh my fucking god. The original DS came out back in 2004. 2004, 14 years ago. It's time for Nintendo to just move on. The DS brand in general had a really good lifespan, and the 3DS also had a really good lifespan. It had a great fucking run. It sold like hotcakes. People loved the 3DS. A lot of great games came out for the 3DS, but it's time for Nintendo to just move the fuck on. Is that really so fucking hard for all of you Nintendo fanboys, for all of you Nintendo 3DS dick suckers to really just comprehend that Nintendo just doesn't want shit to do with the 3DS anymore, and Nintendo just wants to move on to their next system? I guess it is, because so many people got so pissed off at me when I said this last year, that Nintendo just wants to move on from the 3DS. People just had a complete and utter meltdown when I said this, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Obviously, when a successor comes out, the companies want to move on to that successor and make consumers move on to that successor as well. They're going to kill off the 3DS at some point, and I think that point is going to be at the near future. I guarantee it. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.